Hello everybody, welcome back. This is week number 3 of February's weekly online card class. Thank you so much for returning. If it's the first time watching, my name's Stacey Marsh and I'm a demonstrator here in the United Kingdom. Each month I share a set of card tutorials with my customers and online with my followers, themed around a specific stamp set. So the theme for the month of February is the Memorable Blooms stamp set, which looks like this. You can find it in the mini catalogue or by searching online using the Memorable Blooms name. There are dies that coordinate with this set, and we've been introducing them more and more each week. They complement the stamp set really nicely, both as outline dies and some extra detailed some detailed dies. So I'll talk you through the cards that we've made so far. Week number 1 was very monochromatic. We've used tones of crumb cake, black and white, and there's a little bit of vanilla in this ribbon, but it works really, really well with crumb cake. And I've kept the stamped image there really, really plain. I've not added any colour. I've just stamped it with Memento ink. Week number 2, I introduced a bit of colour, not a colour you would really associate with flowers, but nonetheless, it was a nice card to sit and make and design. I've introduced one of the outline dies, one of the detailed dies. It's a nice, I think it's an octagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, an octagon shape. And I've added in some of the foliage dies here. I've also done a little bit of ink blending. So that was week number 2. Week number 3, I'm bringing in some traditional floral colours. This one is mainly tones of Highland Heather and Moody Mauve, and I've used some Old Olive and Garden Green for my leaves. And this, I'm just using the octagon die just in a different way. In the set, you also have this shape, so it will cut out a plain octagon. And from the piece that you're cutting the die out from, it's got a little bit of stitched detail. So it's a really nice die to use. And I've here on this card, I've showcased both stitching elements. And it's just a really nice aperture. I love an aperture card. I'd probably say they're one of my favourite style of cards. So this week's video, we're going to focus on card number 3. So I can put these two to one side. If you're following along at home with a kit, you need week number 3's kit. And in your kit, you will find a card base that's been cut from Highland Heather cardstock. Yours already has the aperture cut out of it. And you'll also find a sheet of designer series paper. This is Highland Heather colour, and it's from the lavender papers, which are still current. You can find them online. And this has been cut to match the aperture on the card. You then have a piece of white, which is your piece that's going to sit inside your card. And you have a die cut. In your packs as well, you'll also have some linen thread, which looks like this. Mine is still on its roll, yours will be loose. And you will need some scrap white for your stamping, and then ink pads. I've used Highland Heather and Blackberry Bliss, and stamping blends, I've got Highland Heather and Moody Mauve. I've also got Petunia Pot, but I don't need that. You'll also need a Memento ink pad for your stamped images, and you've also got your embellishments that are in your week 1 kit. So let me put the card over there to one side so it's in shot. And the first thing I'm going to start with some stamping. So I'm going to stamp. Left one of my stamps in my box. Okay. So I'm going to stamp the leaf image. I'm going to stamp 2 of these flowers. These are the flowers we used last week. I'm saving the big floral image to next week, like so. Right, so for my colours, I'm going to start with my colouring of my flowers. And I'm just going to make sure that it's the right colour, and it is. I'm going to colour the petals of my flower in with a layer of Highland Heather Light. shade. So that looks something like that. Now I'm going to use, I'm just going to check if this is the light or the dark shade. I think I need the light shade of Moody Mauve. It may be the dark. No, it's the light shade. So I'm going to use some dirty fingernail. I'm going to use some light Moody Mauve. Just on the inner parts of those petals. Like so. So I'm just adding some sort of depth of colour in the centre of those flowers. Now, whilst I've got this pen out, I'm going to colour the, I call it like a wheat leaf with Moody Mauve light. There we go. And then what I'm going to do now with the light Highland Heather, I'm just going to go over where those two colours meet, just to blend those colours in a little bit. There we go. So that's my flowers. I'm going to leave those to dry. And then for my leaf, I'm just going to check, did I use this? I did. And I'm going to colour in my leaf in the same way. So I may have mentioned this already. I know I've mentioned it before on other videos. I think about my colouring like I think about a sandwich, a white bread sandwich. So I start with my light shade, which is my first slice of bread. I'm then going to add in the filling, and the filling is either going to be the dark shade or another colour. And then I'm going to go back over with the light shade. So I'm putting that light slice of bread back on the top. So that's my leaf, my layer of light. And then I'm going to use dark old olive at the base of the leaf, just to add in some shading. And then go over. And that's my flowers coloured. So now I need to use the die to cut these out. I also like to use post-it notes on my dies just to hold them in place. It's a little bit less tacky than, less sticky, sorry, than washi tape. So let's run those through my die machine, which I just have over here behind me. Okay, so here are my flowers. 1, 2, 3. And then we can now start to think about putting the card together. Oh, I forgot to say, also in your packs, I just realised I haven't gotten something out of my own pack. Also in your packs, you will have a purple die cut octagon. Now, I don't think I have one, so I'm just going to cut myself one. Not quite sure where mine went because I've cut the aperture out. Right, so let's think about this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my white piece inside my card. With my glue, which is over here. I've got quite a few classes on the go at the moment, so I've got bits and pieces in different boxes around my craft room. February seems to be quite a busy month for classes. There we go. So let's stick that in. And then I'm going to take a black fine line pen and just draw a little line, a little border. Around the inside of that white piece. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my designer series paper on. So you want to put your glue onto your DSP. And you want to line this up so that it sits totally up against that aperture. So you have something that looks like that. So you've got a nice border of that card showing below. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my large flower image and I'm going to stamp it with Highland Heather ink. And I'm going to put this out there. So I'm just doing some partial stamping. And then you want to put in foam pads onto the back of this piece. I'm actually going to use an adhesive sheet because I love them. This is a piece that I've cut down. Oh, a bit of fluff. And then you want to line, with your card closed, you want to line it up so that you're basically putting your octagon back in to the shape. So that gives you your piece underneath. Okay. And then it's just a matter of doing your adding on your embellishments. I'm going to take my label and I want to stamp my sentiment, and I'm stamping with Blackberry Bliss ink, which is another one of our purple shades. And the sentiment I'm using is You've Been on My Mind. On there. And this is the first bit that I'm actually going to stick on. I'm just checking if I stuck it down flat. I did. So I want to add a little bit of wet glue there, and I'm going to stick this on so that it's straight. Straight is always a good thing. Okay, still not straight. That's better. Okay, so that's now stuck on straight, and then I'm going to take my flowers and my leaves. I'm going to stick this on. So first thing I'm going to do with my leaves, and they're going over this side. Out there. And then this flower is going down next. I'm going to pop that on with a pad. And I'm sticking the pad to the card rather than to the back of the flower so that it's definitely stuck in the right place. And there's that lid. And then this one, I've just noticed here, I'm going to take this, pop that up there. And that one there. And then I want to tie myself a bow using linen thread. Trim down those tails. And then this bow I'm going to stick to that flower with a glue dot. Glue dots are the best thing to use when you're attaching bows or attaching ribbon and trim to your cards. I like to stick it to the dot and then take it to the card. And then lastly, all I've got left to do is to stick on some of my embellishments, and I'm going to use these green dots. I've just got a couple left of my strip. You will have more because these have done all of my cards. And there. And there. And there we have it. That is week number 3 complete. Let me know what you think in the comments, if it's your colour palette, if you've changed anything on it. It's always nice to see how you alter your my card designs to suit your personality and your reason for sending them. Quite a lot of people turn my cards into birthday cards rather than anything else, but I do love the sentiments in this card, and I know it's someone that I want to send this to. So that's it for week number 3. Week number 4 we have next week, last week of the month. And I always call week number 4 my kitchen sink card. So it's going to look a little bit like this. We're using all the dies. We're doing some fun colouring. And I look forward to sharing that with you at 12 o'clock on Thursday next week. So I will see you all then. If you have any comments or questions, please do get in touch. All the products that I've used are available to purchase from my online store, and you can find that in the description below. So I'll leave you all there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.